Hello. I had a few people suggest that I try using a helical antenna on the receiver when I'm testing the range of the Eachine MC01, the little 25 milliwatt sort of all-in-one camera and VTX and antenna unit. And I thought that's a good idea, so I gave it a try because we've been having some nice weather still recently. So to cut a long story short, because a lot of people are probably thinking, just tell me, how far did you get? So this is a frame from near the end of the flight. This is right at the 1.8 kilometer mark as far as I can tell. Unfortunately, the quad didn't make it back. It had a bit of a mishap, what's the word? A crash, yes. A bit of a crash. So I'll elaborate on that a little bit later maybe. This is the setup that I used. I just detached the receiver from my goggles and stuck that on like this, just to make sure that it didn't move around rather than having it on my head, which is probably going to move a little bit. And the camera, as before, is down on the front of the quad, so it's quite low down, and the signal has to make it back. If it's facing away from the receiver, the signal has to go through, so there it is there. Signal has to go through all that stuff there. It's not really a huge, massive stuff, but it definitely makes a difference, as we'll see. There's ESCs in the middle there and flight controller there. I don't know. Mostly just wires, I think. Whoops. Yeah, so what I'll do is I will play the whole video. It's only about 6 minutes long. I don't really expect anybody to watch the whole thing. You can just sort of skip through it. And I'll put at the bottom of the video at each point approximately how far away that is from the receiver, just in 100-meter increments. And basically from about 500 meters onwards, if the picture goes fuzzy and you see interference, that basically means that the quad is facing away from the receiver. And anytime you can see a decently clear picture, you can take that to mean that the quad is not facing directly away. I found that it didn't take much of a deviation from directly away to get the picture to show up. Maybe about 20 degrees was enough. Anyway, so after that I went to go and pick it up, so I recorded a little bit of video as I was doing that. So I will I think I'll figure out what time in the video that's going to be that I continue my narration, and I'll put a little marker in the video right at this point to let you know where to skip to if you want to just continue with my my story. Okay, so this is about the 1.7K mark, and everything was going very well until I heard the noise of a helicopter coming closer, a full-size helicopter that is. And here on this farm, they've been doing some spraying recently using full-size heli, and they fly very low, and occasionally they crisscross to service other farms in the region, and when they come past they fly fairly low. Again, not as low as that, but fairly low. So I was a bit worried that he might be in the same area as me, so I thought I'd better just descend as quickly as I can. So I went down quite low to about treetop level, and of course I wasn't thinking that the signal was going to get weaker as I did that, and eventually just lost the signal. Unfortunately, the failsafe didn't work. So I don't know what's up with that. Maybe it had lost GPS signal for some reason. I have no idea why it didn't work. But this is a very new version of CleanFlight iNav, which I just flashed on there. It's still sort of a testing version, I think. So anyway, that was unfortunate, but managed to recover it without any huge damage.
Three broken props and one broken arm. One broken arm I can handle because I actually have a spare. Two would have been annoying. Oops. This thing's broken again. That's alright, I have a spare of those. I'm learning which things break easily in these crashes, so I have spares of that and that. I think everything else seems to be okay. So anyway, the star of this show was this guy. And as we saw from the video just before, this camera was actually still transmitting, or of course it was transmitting, but I mean, with the helical antenna on the receiver, I could still see a picture even when it was like about just about the tip of the tree there. I still had a few frames of video coming in. And we are not exactly how sure we are, how far away we are from the start point, but we're actually below ground here, so there's hill in the way of my house, so obviously that's not going to help much. But we're at least, I'd say at least 1,600 meters. I will put a little annotation on top of the video here to show exactly how far we are once I figure that out from looking at the map. And there's a creek down there which I'm glad we didn't land in, because that would have been a bummer. Anyway, everything looks to be okay apart from the broken arm and the broken props and this thing. Yeah, it'll fly again tomorrow, no problem.